Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is James Oliver Hacking III. I am an immigration lawyer. I will be celebrating my 25th year of being a lawyer in August, if you can believe that. I am old. I was just talking to my lawsuit team, and basically I've been a lawyer as long as one of our paralegals has been alive. Can you believe it? I am one old bastard. See that gray hair? Yep, I am one old bastard. This is episode number 216 of the Immigration Answer Show. Sorry I'm late. All kinds of crazy things going on. I forgot to tell Justin that we were starting at 3 o'clock. My daughter Noor was calling me right at the start of the hour so that I could be sure to pick her up and take her to softball practice. We're supposed to be going on TikTok today, but I don't know if we're ready for that or not. I don't think we'll try that next week. Just so you know, programming note, I'll be traveling at the end of next week. So we're going to do a show on Sunday. I love doing shows on Sunday. That'll be at like 2 or 3 Central. If you're not on our texting list and you want to know when we're going live, I just don't know when Amani's out of the house on Sunday. She's got some errands to run. So I'm going to do the show while she's running errands. And if you want to get on our list, we send out a text every day we go live. You can text the word show, SHOW, to 314-470-3300. I don't have a lot of immigration news. I don't have a lot of things to talk about other than the fact that the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is a conservative court of appeals, all the Court of Appeals are relatively conservative. That court down in New Orleans heard arguments yesterday on whether the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program is legal. There's a judge down in Texas who hated President Obama and has done everything he can to stop DACA. That case is up on appeal, and they heard arguments on that yesterday. Other than that, I don't have a lot of news, and we already have a fair number of people in the waiting room. So, Juli, unless you tell me otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and start taking our guests. Give me a thumbs up. All right. Let's say hi to Rick. Hi, Rick.
Hi, Jim. Sorry, mate. You've caught me by surprise there.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
So my question is, it concerns I-601 waivers. Is that something you know about?
A wee bit.
Okay, so from what I can make out, reading the instructions on it, it says that if the event you're trying to waive is over 15 years, then you don't need to show hardship of the petitioner. Is that correct?
Well, walk me through what's happening. So who is somebody has somebody been deported?
Yeah, okay. I'll try to give you a brief history without getting too personal.
Sure.
So basically, when I was 60, my father's an American citizen. My parents divorced. He moved to America when I was a child. When I was 16, I'm in England right now. I moved from England to California to visit my father. We applied for a green card, but I ended up overstaying because back then, children weren't allowed to stay with their parents. So I was overstaying. I got picked up on a traffic stop, like some traffic offence. But I also had marijuana on me. So I got arrested and then I got deported.
Sure.
So since then, we've applied again for citizenship a couple of times. The first time we didn't see it through. Now this time we've sort of got right through all the process at NVC and got to the interview at the embassy, which I went to. And when I went to the interview, the consular officer told me sort of everything was okay. And after I completed the final steps, which they wanted me to do, finish the medical and get the COVID jabs and stuff, which I did. And then a couple of weeks after that, I got a green form saying I'm inadmissible and my passport returned. And now where it says I'm inadmissible, it says inadmissible under the Immigration and Nationality Act 212A, and they've written 2A2. Now, I can't work out what 2A2 actually means because when I read 212A, there's a 2A section, but I don't understand what the other two is.
It's the drug section. It's the drug conviction that they think is making you inadmissible. Was it, how much marijuana was it?
Yeah, it was a small. I'm pretty sure that when the charge, when from what I can remember, it was in 1999. It was a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure it was. It said less than 28.5 grams. I'm like, that was a California. It's a long time ago. It's hard to remember. So if it is the drugs and it was in 99, does that mean I can just file the? Oh, I do have another question actually. So when I was doing the medical stuff, there was questions about drugs, and I did say, because I knew that this was going to come up, so I did say that I had used marijuana in the past, but I've got no other arrests for any drug related incidents. So I was wondering, is that something that's maybe made things worse? The fact that I admitted to using drugs in the past as
Yeah,
well.
I wonder if that 212A is actually 212A3 for drug abusers and addicts. I wonder if that's maybe what they were concluding, that they think you're still using marijuana and that you're some kind of drug addict. I wonder if that.
Well, okay, so I don't think it's that, because when we last applied, I can't remember, but I got to the embassy and they told me that because I had this drug possession charge, which they knew about in '99, that when I went for my medical, I would need to be drug tested.
Yeah.
So this time when I went for my medical, I said, look, I think the embassy are going to bring up this drug charge, so you may as well just drug test me. Which they did. So, and I'm absolutely 100% certain that that is not going to be a problem.
Mhm.
So, I don't think they can say that I'm currently an addict, because they'll see that I've got no drugs in my system. So, I think I think it's this charge in '99 for possession, which is what they're making an issue with. But
Which is this? Is this London or some other embassy?
it was the London embassy, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that has anybody, so first of all, are you working with an attorney right now?
No, we did everything ourselves so far, but like when at this point now, it's just like it's too much. My father's
Yeah.
in California and he's been looking to try and get attorneys, and I've been looking, but we're just way out of our depth at this point.
And has anybody gone back and gotten your file from when you got deported or from this other application that you filed? Like, the first thing I would do if I were working, there's two things I would do if I were working on your case. Number one, I would have started a long time ago working on the assumption that I need a waiver, that we need to demonstrate why it's a hardship for dad for you not to be allowed back into the United States. So I'd be getting all of his medical records. I'd be seeing if he can go see a counselor, talking about how hard it is. And I don't know if he's working, but if you're supporting him financially, or if you could support him financially, if you came to the United States, that's one big thing that I would have been working on for, say, the last 2 years. The other thing is I would have done everything I can to get your old immigration file, your criminal records, your deportation file, your files from the State Department, so that we have a full understanding of what we're going to need. You're going to need a waiver. There's no doubt in my mind you're going to need a waiver. So I would have been working on the waiver while I'm working on the immigration piece, and I would be tracking down your whole file, so that I believe everything you're telling me, but I just want to get a good timeline. I'm a big believer in, if they have pieces of paper in front of them, I want to get as many of those pieces of paper that they have in front of me.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense. I was kind of hoping that we didn't need to show the hardship of the petitioner, because I mean, I've read a bit about that, and it's
Yeah, I mean, even if there's a technical rule that says you don't need the waiver, I think you can almost count on the fact that they're going to insist on it. So, especially London.
What's kind of made it more difficult is that, because I feel like they hadn't looked at everything at the interview, because he told me it was going to be okay, and then now I've just got this form that says you're inadmissible, and no one's really explained why to me.
But that's not a big surprise. They don't have to explain why, and in their mind, the green form is the explanation. There never comes a day where the State Department says, "Hey, Rick, here's the deal. Here's what you need to know." They don't do that. They just don't let you in.
Yeah. Okay,
So if you want our help, if you or dad want our help, just send us an email. Huli can put the information on the bottom of the screen. Just shoot us an email, info@hackinglawpractice.com, and say, hey, I was on the show with Jim today. Can you help me and my dad?
Okay, Jim, thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Have a great day, bud. Thanks for
Bye.
coming on the show. See ya. All right. Next up, Salu. Hi, Salu.
Hello, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing, my friend?
About my working permit still. The last time I called you, I asked you about it. They
Yeah.
approved me and they sent me my card. But before I receive it, it delayed. So I did an application to replace it.
Wait,
So
after
right now,
they send it to you, what happened?
it delayed.
What do you mean it got delayed?
No, they say they sent it to me on the 17th, and then I didn't receive it until on the 24th.
So you never received it?
Right now, it's on my it's in my hand. So it's just I just want to know, like, can I work with that, or can I wait for the replacement?
I'm sorry, I still don't understand, Salu, what happened. So you have the card?
Yeah, right now I'm having the card.
Okay, and so what's the question? Why do you need a replacement?
No, before they said they're gonna send it to me on the 17th last month. So like they didn't send it until on the 24th. So between those days, I did another application for replacement. So
Oh,
yeah.
I see what you're saying. So yeah,
You
just
understand?
use the one you have. Don't worry about the other one.
Okay. Yeah, that was my question, Jim.
Thanks, Salu. See you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, Olu. Hi, Olu. Olu, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I got you. Can you turn
Hey,
that
how you
music
doing,
off?
Jim?
Good. Can you turn that music off? Because they'll turn it off for copyright stuff.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No worries. What's up?
Yeah. Last week I asked a question, but obviously I was focused on the other part when you told me to either take my kids myself or find someone else to take them. I shouldn't let my ex-wife take them to the interview.
I remember.
But I forgot to ask what document do I need? I've decided to go. I'm going to just go. I bought the plane ticket. I'm just going to go myself. But the other part of my question that day was I needed what document, because I uploaded a bunch of documents. Do I need to take those documents physically or no?
I would take everything you have.
Okay. And secondly, I don't know. I read somewhere that even if I go with them, they are going to kick me out and just interview them by themselves.
How old are they?
13 and 11.
No, they won't kick you out.
Oh, okay. That's all I wanted.
When are you going?
I'm going next week.
Have a safe trip. Let us know how it goes, okay?
Will do. Thank you.
Bye, Olu. See you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, we're just flying through them today. Next up, Hassanur. What do you say, Hassanur?
Hey, Jim. Can you see me?
I got you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great.
So I talked to you a few episodes ago about my wife's CR1 visa. So she actually finally got approved for an interview on August 23rd, actually. So it was from March 30th when we got approved. The question I had was, Jim, is about the police certificate. It was issued to us on October the 7th, 2021. I'm not sure on like how they handle like the validity of the certificate. Like, is it a year or is it 6 months? Like, I wasn't sure if we need to get a new one or something.
It's 6 months and you need to get a new one.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, yeah, that was my question, just because I wasn't sure how long. Okay.
Which embassy?
DACA.
And so you got documentary qualified in, when did you say? February?
March 30th.
And then an interview in DACA in August.
It's going to be August 23rd.
So that's not bad.
Yeah, so I wanted to call ahead just in case, because I saw in the pre-interview checklist for the DACA's website on the state government site, they said it's issued within a year. So I wasn't sure if it was 6 months or a year. That's why I wanted to confirm with you.
6 months. Good luck. Let us know how it goes, okay?
All right, we'll do. Thanks.
I'm sure for Hassanur that that March to August seems like a long time, and it is, but 5 months, based on what we've been hearing from a lot of other people, that's actually pretty darn fast. So good luck to Hasanor and to his wife. All right, next up, Dan. What's up, Dan?
Hi. So I am planning on to get married in next June. I'm an international student, and so I'll still be in college. I'll actually be in my sophomore year of college, and I've been here ever since like freshman year of high school. So it's been like 6 years. So I'm wondering, once I get married, what is the very first step I need to do?
So once you get married, if you want to, you can file for a green card based on marriage. So what would happen is your spouse would file an I-130 petition. Your spouse is a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Or your fiance, I should say. Yeah. So if they're a U.S. citizen, they can file an I-130 petition for you and an I-45. So you can file for a green card, a travel document, and a work card. Now, this person that you're marrying, are they also in college?
Yes, they are.
So they're going to need a co-sponsor. So that would, they probably, because they don't have any money. So they would need someone who makes enough money to say that if you, Dan, get government benefits and you can't pay them back and your spouse can't pay them back, then they'll pay them back. So typically it's a parent, it's somebody else who's a green card holder or a citizen. So those would be all the forms that you would file. And then eventually you're going to get fingerprinted and then a background check, and then you get a temporary work and travel card, or temporary travel card, or travel document and work card. And then you'll get a interview, and you and your spouse will get interviewed. How old are you?
I am 19.
So they're going to wonder why you got married so quickly and what's the rush and everything. So you got to be ready to talk about that stuff. Are you going to stay in school after you get married?
Yes.
So, I mean, I might encourage you to wait a little while. I wouldn't necessarily file right away. I mean, if you want to, you certainly can. But I think that being 20 at that point, waiting a little bit to file so that it doesn't seem like you're really, really eager to get a green card. If you can afford it in your life to wait a little while, because you're still going to have 2 more years of college, I guess you would pay a lower tuition rate if you got your green card. So there's that. So that might even be a reason to tell them why you filed sooner rather than later. But of course, you know, the main reason you're getting married is because of love and because you want to build your life together and all that stuff. So, you know, those are my thoughts.
Okay, that makes sense. So you said that once we get married, technically we don't have to file for a green card right away. So, and I wouldn't need to until like maybe like the end of my senior year. So now I can get the working and the travel ones. So it would look more legitimate. Is that what you would say?
Yeah. Now the only thing to keep, yes. So if I were, from an immigration standpoint, if I were in charge, if you get married next June, that'll be the end of your sophomore year. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I might wait until the start of senior year, or maybe that summer in between junior and senior year, to file. And then you'll have your work and travel card before you're done with college. And then you'll be able to work when you graduate, which would be nice. You'd also probably get a 10-year green card instead of a 2-year green card. You wouldn't have to do the I-751 to remove conditions because your marriage would have been more than 2 years when you get your green card approved. So I think there's lots of benefits to waiting. The only downside and the only thing to think about is has your visa stamp for your F1, has that expired?
No. I had one that expired at the end of my high school, but then but it got renewed once I got accepted to college, and now it doesn't expire until the end of my senior year.
Yeah, so you're golden. So I would say at the end of junior year, May, June, that's when I would file. If you get married next year, you'll be married a year by that point. You'll probably get a 10-year green card. That would be the perfect timing.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Dan. See you, buddy. Congratulations. All right, next up, Ahmed. Hi, Ahmed.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you a lot for all of the video that you posted on Facebook and YouTube, because they helped me so much during my process of my IR1 case.
Awesome.
Short cut of my story is I was living on a student visa since 2000 until 2001, and that was in Tennessee. And I traveled back to Jordan in 2001, came back before my visa would expire, like before 3 months, and that was in 2004. And in 2006, I met a person, and I got married from, and we filed a petition. She filed a petition for me, I-130, and during, like, before the interview of my green card interview, um, I had a little problem with my health condition, and I went to the interview. I was very nervous, and I was like shaking so much. So I answered most of the questions that they asked me, and I got a notice of revoke, like a denial. And that was back in 2007.
Okay.
2000, the end of 2006, the beginning of 2007. Now, in September 2018, I got married. Well, I divorced my first wife, and
when did you divorce your first wife?
that was in 2007 too. I'm sorry. I think the divorce paper was like in 2013.
Okay.
I filed for it, but like I continued the progress in 2013.
Okay. Can we back up just real quick?
Mhm.
What was the basis for the denial in the I-130 denial on the first marriage?
Well, that's the paper that I don't have, which they gave it to me, I think, or they sent it to me by email, but I don't have it. But I think it's because of not answering the correct questions, like even the simple questions of an interview. I couldn't even like answer them right.
So my question would be then, if you remember, is
Yes, sir.
like sometimes they say it's your burden as somebody, you and your spouse's burden as somebody applying for an immigration benefit. It's your burden, and that you haven't satisfied your burden because you didn't answer all the answers properly. Then there's other denials that come out and say, we believe this marriage was fraud, or we believe this marriage was entered into solely to gain an immigration benefit. Do you remember the tone of the denial notice that you received?
I think the tone of the second answer you said about the fraud thing.
So they denied number one, thinking that it was not legit.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And was your divorce from spouse number one, was it a friendly divorce? Was it a nasty divorce?
It was very friendly, sir, and I brought up the papers, and that's where I'm gonna come to you with this progress.
Oh, I know where we're headed. Yep, keep going.
Yes, sir. I got married in 2018, and we filed the petition, and it took almost a year and a half to get approved by USCIS, and then went to embassy, and like they made it even complicated during the COVID problem and stuff. And they wanted my wife to get her proof of domicile because she lived more than a year outside the country, so she had to go back, and they delayed us for more and more, the document needed.
Wait,
finally,
hold on.
Yes, sir.
So have you left the United States since you left the United States?
Right after the denial, sir. Now I'm currently in Jordan since 2007.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that case gets denied. Oh, see, I just in my mind pictured you hanging out until 2018. Okay. So you leave the United States.
Yes.
You don't get deported. You just leave.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Okay. So now you've married a new person who's like a Jordanian American.
Yes, sir.
And that person files an I-130 petition for you. That gets approved. Then it goes to the National Visa Center. Then you're waiting. And is your current spouse a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir. And she living in the U.S.
Right. So you're waiting, and then they ask for proof of domicile. Okay. And then have you had an interview yet?
I had an interview in December, the 21st of 21.
Yeah.
And the consul was like very happy of the interview, and he said everything is good, but except like you have to go under the administration process for more document needed. So the document that I needed was, I'm going to be straight honest with you. One was for about the petition, the first petition. Most question was asked about the first petition, and there was a arrest of making a disturbance at a place, and I got a dismissed charges of it. You know, like I had.
So hold on. So you go to the embassy in Amman. They say
Yes.
everything looks good, but we'll put you in admin processing, and then they sent you a list of what they wanted, or they called, or they told you, or how did you find out what they wanted?
They sent it to me by email, sir.
And what did they ask? What did they ask you specifically about marriage number one?
They wanted to know the result of the withdrawal of the I-130. They wanted to know.
That's weird. I mean,
Yes.
they should have all that. So hold on a second. Now, did wife number one withdraw the I-130, or was it denied, or both?
It was denied. But I don't know if she did or then. I'm not sure. But I'm not sure, sir, of this.
Okay, so the big problem here is that you don't have a good history of everything that happened on that old case. You don't have the old denial. It's a little fuzzy what happened back in 2006.
I have like the notice, like the notice of action of my first petition. Like I have the two. Yeah.
But not the meat of it, not the denial itself.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I applied. Gave all the documents away, and until then, like the last message of the visa service desk from them was like, your case is escalated to a final resolution and final result, and they never like updated again since March the 23rd. So I emailed your office, and I really want to like file a mandamus lawsuit or something like that, because it's taken too long. I mean, it's a 2-year separation. It's kind of hard, you know.
Well, we could do a mandamus, but I want to know what's in that old denial, and I also want to know, do you think that your first spouse like said bad things about you to immigration?
No, sir. No, sir.
Was your first spouse of Arabic descent as well?
No, sir.
What was her?
She was African American.
Okay. And when you married her, wife number one, were you still in student status, or were you out of status?
I was out of status because, like, I think my visa was expired already.
And when you went to your interview with your first spouse,
yes, sir,
did they separate you?
Yes, they did.
And did you have a lawyer with you?
No, sir. I was on my own.
And so did you talk to your wife at that point about what she said? Not about matching answers, but like, what I'm wondering is if they tried to scare her and get her to withdraw the I-130.
I don't think she did, sir, but they did ask her like a lot of things, especially about the accident and my health issues, the one I was like suffering of that time. And most of like, they were trying to scare her. She told me that, like, they were trying to push her, like, to say like something wrong, but there was nothing wrong. Like everything was like perfect, living with each other.
So my question then is, you use the word withdrawal when you were talking about what happened, and you also use the word revoke. So I'm wondering if I think it's 50-50 that she withdrew that I-130s. You'd be amazed at the number of times people have come on this show or come into my office and told me, Jim, I went to the interview at USCIS. They separated us. I once had a lady sign the withdrawal and never told her husband. He found out when it came in the mail. So I think there's a significant chance that she withdrew the I-130, which actually would be better for you, because it might have kept them from finding an actual finding of fraud. So the biggest problem here, Ahmed, is that you don't have the documents from the first case, and the first case is the whole shoot and match. So if I were you, what I would do before suing them is I would request the old case. Okay. And because we don't know what they're looking at. We could do both. We could sue them and ask, but I think you're headed towards a refusal with you needing a waiver. I think you're probably going to need a waiver if you can get one. If the fraud was too bad or too nailed down, if she said this was fake and he paid me or something like that, then I think you're in trouble.
I don't think that's happened, but I would like to keep up with you, sir.
Yeah.
Like I need to continue with you like as soon as possible.
Okay. So just send us an email to Julio, if you contacted us in March, Julio will find you in the system and she'll tag me. She'll tag me. I'll send you an email tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Ahmed. Thanks for coming on, bud. See you,
Have
buddy.
a good day.
Yeah, see you. All right. Got a lot of interesting calls today. Let's see what DJ has to say. Hi, DJ.
Hi, Jim. Thank you for having me here.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So I have a question for you. I am married to a U.S. citizen. We've been married since October of 2019. We share one 3-year-old daughter, but I have 3 bonus kids from his previous relationship.
Sure.
A little bit of backstory about our marriage. The first year was really rough. Marriage is not easy. So we had a lot of back and forth and bickering. So I actually filed for divorce. The divorce has not been finalized, and it'll be finalized in December of this year, but we're working through our relationship and we want to keep our marriage. So we've gone to counseling and we want to keep the family together. So we're wondering how that will affect if he petitions for me. I'm currently under DACA, and I'm in good standing with that. I don't have any type of criminal record. I did see an attorney, and he suggested that he would do an advance parole and file the I-130. But he suggests that we, work on everything, get move together, cancel the divorce petition, and also cancel the child support that I'm currently receiving.
So you came as a child with your parents without inspection, and you have DACA. Is that right?
Yeah.
And what was the date of your marriage?
October 19 of 2019.
And your husband has not ever filed an I-130 petition for you?
No, because once we got married, we started having marital issues. So I wasn't even interested in filing anything immigration-wise.
Okay.
So, but now we're working through things. So now we're more stable. We're in a healthy place. So now we kind of want to get things going.
Yeah, sure. So then your question, I think, is, do I think an I-130 is approvable when a divorce has been filed and dismissed?
Yes, and along with the child support, because we currently have a child support order, but that will get dismissed once we move in, because we have to prove to the Attorney General that we're back together, and so they will dismiss it. So that's kind of how we're going to go about things, but we don't know how immigration will take that.
So it's not so much that you have a court order of child support. You have a court order plus the state's actually enforcing it for you.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm okay with it. I think the plan is sound. I like the idea if you could get advanced parole and to go get advanced parole through DACA and go back home and clean up that entry, then things become a lot simpler. I can't think if I think I've had I-130s approved before where a divorce had been filed and quickly withdrawn. I think that's happened a couple times. Yours has gone on a little bit longer, but it sounds like you live in a state where divorce takes a long time.
Yeah, it got pushed back because there was a judge election, so it got pushed back. And then I guess the old judge that was over it, there's a new judge that's going to be taking care of it. But I plan to withdraw it before December, since we're getting a new lease under both of our names. So that will dismiss the divorce. So I don't even think we're going to go to divorce in December.
Good. Yeah. So I think that it's sort of like when I was a kid, they were always worried about Russia and the United States and these arms race. Like they'd each get a new nuclear weapon and they sort of work their way up to war, and then they work their way down. It's sort of like you need to disengage and work your way back down. But I think that and I also think that the fact that you didn't have an I-130 on file actually helps you, because I think it makes it more obvious that you're not just in it for the immigration benefit. If you were really trying to scam them and get married to get a green card, you guys would have done all that before the divorce. So I think what I would do if I were the lawyers, I would take the divorce and turn it around and say, we really it took us a while to get here. We understand that, and we have sort of a strange path to be sitting here across from you. And yeah, he filed for divorce. I mean,
I filed.
Oh, you filed. Yeah.
Yeah.
In theory, it might not come up.
Okay.
Here in Missouri, they would just run your name and they'd probably find it. But, obviously if they ask, you'd have to bring it up. But I think that a divorce that got filed and withdrawn, I don't think that's a silver bullet that keeps you from getting it approved. And you have a kid together. If everything's hunky-dory and you have good evidence, like this is gonna be a document heavy case. You're gonna need lots of evidence of what happened before and lots of evidence what happened all the way up until your interview. But you'll have time to do that, and you have a kid together. So I think that if things do in fact work out, you're gonna benefit greatly from it, and I think it's approvable.
Okay. Another thing, he filed for bankruptcy in 2019. Will that affect the financial support affidavit?
Well, he'll probably need, it depends what his income is for each of the last 3 years. They don't actually ask about bankruptcy, but it depends what his earning capacity is and his dependence on his tax returns. You might need a co-sponsor, but that's the least of your concerns right now.
Okay. I did speak to an attorney about a week and a half ago, and like I said, he suggested to file the I-130 along with the advance parole. I just got word that my grandma, my abuelita in Mexico, she's been having an issue with one of her legs and she's losing mobility. Now she's got back-to-back appointments and she's being seen by 2 different doctors. Do you think it'd be good to file an emergency advance parole through the DACA, or file the emergency advance parole plus the I-130?
No, I would do both. Well, actually, I would try to get advanced parole. I try to get the advanced parole standalone from DACA and then do the I-130 when you get back, if you can afford to. So I would actually file for advanced parole. Then I would ask for it to be expedited so that you can go see your grandma in Mexico. And then when you come back, then I'd file the I-130. Okay.
And then one last thing. So sorry.
You're fine. These are all good questions.
What about, one of the things I'm most scared about is if my advanced parole does get approved, the entry. Do you think that I might have an issue coming into here, because I did enter it legally when I was a kid, and
Just
they
one?
might question me. Just one, yeah. They might question me about, I'm trying to adjust status because I am legally married and I'm going to file through the I-130.
I think we had one of the last advanced paroles when USCIS was giving them before, and the guy made it through. We had one of the first ones when they turned it back on. So I don't think, that's the whole purpose of advanced parole. There's a risk. I can't say there's not a risk, but I don't think you're high on their list of priorities. I think you'll be fine.
Okay. And it's okay if I take my husband and my daughter with me?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.
Bye, DJ. Good luck.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
See ya. You got it. All right. Next up, PJ.
Oh, hi, Jim.
Hi, PJ. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So how are you?
Great. What's going on?
Well, I have 2, I guess, very simple questions. They aren't really problematic. When, and then a statement about something that I think might interest you for one of your videos. Okay, one, way back when my wife and I got married in 2018, we filed the one I-130 and the 485, and our lawyer submitted it a few days after I was on OPT at the time, a few days after the OPT had expired. All right. Now, we did get my 2-year green card at the time without a problem.
Spouse is a U.S. citizen?
Yes, spouse is a U.S. citizen.
So that's no problem.
Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to clarify that part. It's not a problem because it gets forgiven, but still noted that you applied while out of status. Is that the case?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. So I don't pay much attention to that, but I don't know. I have no way of knowing what they secretly note in there, but I think once the green card comes, it's sort of like a cleansing.
Okay.
That's how I picture it.
All right. Then the other thing is, so I submitted my removal of conditions last April, right? Last year.
21.
And yeah, still waiting.
Sure.
And I know that those are notoriously taking long these days. But I went a couple days ago to get the stamp on my passport because there was a whole long story about my receipt notice not getting here in time. So I went down there and got a stamp, and my actual green card was taken away. Now, when
Right.
the receipt notices came, I couldn't use it because I didn't have the
Your green
physical
card.
green card, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Anyway, so the interesting thing is when I got there, the officer said something unprompted. She said something like, this was in Philadelphia, the field office in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
She said something like, I don't even know if we have your file yet.
Sure.
And that kind of confused me.
Those don't get sent to the field office unless and until there's an interview. So,
okay.
many 751s, I think these days almost half are getting approved without an interview. So the idea that it would actually be strange that your file, your 751 file, your A file, would be at the Philadelphia field office now.
Why would that be strange?
Because it's at a service center. It hasn't been sent to Philadelphia yet.
Okay. So here's the one thing that's interesting that I found a couple days ago that kind of got me spooked a little bit.
Okay.
So when I went and got my stamp on my passport, I went to the DMV because obviously my driver's license had expired on the same day that my old stamp was expiring to get that renewed. For the first time ever since I have been in the US, since I've gotten driver's licenses, the officer at the DMV verbally wanted me to say what my immigration status was. He had all of my documentation on his side of the computer. He looked at all of them, and he had, by the looks of it, done everything. And strangely, he asked me, "What is your status?" And that kind of got me a little spooked in relation.
PJ, you're a big worrier, man. You're a big worrier.
Here's the thing.
You're a big worrier.
Here's the
Go
thing.
ahead. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. The reason is, the recent Supreme Court decision about the Patel case and the guy that was accused of misrepresenting being a citizen and stuff like that. Right. In my head, I'm thinking, well, are these people now out on a fishing expedition at the DMV just asking you to say stuff and trying to get you to incriminate yourself? Even because I mean, he's the only one looking at the computer. I'd understand if it was me clicking the buttons, selecting whether I was a citizen or not, but he's just asking me and then continuing with what he's doing over there. What if he asked that question and accidentally clicks?
So what'd you tell him?
I said I was a permanent resident, which is
that's right. The correct answer is lawful permanent resident. Go fuck yourself. Give me my driver's license. That's the right answer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean that last part I really wanted to say, but I was like, why would he ask me when I don't even see what he's doing at the back of the screen? Well, what is this about? And so it kind of got me spooked a little bit. I was like, Jim might like to hear about this because.
No, that doesn't surprise me. That's just somebody being a jerk.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, that's all I have for you today, and I really appreciate what you're doing for us. Thank you very much.
Good luck, PJ. See you, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
All right.
All right. Next up, Sujal.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Just fine. Got a quick question regarding the PERMA application. So I'm on the student visa right now, and my employer was working with a third-party company who worked on my PERMA application. The last time I heard about them was in the status was back in February this year that there's like an audit request on my case, and they replied to it with the exact reason. I didn't know the specifics, so I just got an update that it has been denied, and the reason is they were missing some documentation. Apparently, hold on, the exact Word says they were missing part of the recruitment documentation not being included in the electronic application. So clearly, like they kind of they just screwed it up, and it did not get uploaded. And now I have two options. One is try to appeal for the same, and the next one is filing a new one.
So lots of questions. Number one, did the employer use a lawyer?
Yes.
And I mean, are you so here's one thing, Sujal, that you need to think about. Number one is some employers are very secretive and don't let the employee know anything about the process. That's sort of one end of the extreme. At the other end of the extreme is the kind that I like to work with, which is unless it's confidential financial information, let the employee know, and sort of it's a collaborative process. Which kind of an employer do you have?
I think it's somewhere in the middle, more on the transparent side.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's the lawyer? So then my other question is, sometimes it truly is a failure to send in the right paperwork, but other times it's a failure to send in the right paperwork because the recruitment wasn't done properly. Do you have a sense as to which of those two it is?
I don't think so, because I mean,
you don't think so? What?
I don't think it's the case of the employer messing it up, but again, I can't be certain of that.
Yeah.
From what I get to hear, like, because I escalated it within my employer, as well as because my employer uses a third party company which takes care of all the immigration stuff.
A lawyer or a company?
It's a lawyer firm. Like, eventually I'm talking with the legal attorneys who handled my case and took care of it. So
yeah, the PERM applications get audited, PERM applications get denied. That's part of the deal. The question is, did the lawyers make a mistake? Did the lawyers not send in something that was readily available? Did the lawyers not know what they were doing? Those are the kinds of things I'd be pushing on when I was this. And I guess when it comes to, do I do an appeal or do I refile? I ask myself, is this something that's fixable or not? If there's a fundamental flaw in the recruitment, then you got to start over.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I just got to know about this yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm still talking to the higher chains.
So
but
the question is, why did this get denied? Whose fault is it? And how easy is it to fix? Those are the questions that you want to know.
Correct. And from the looks of it, what I've been told is like the electronic application did not include some set of recruitment documentation. So from what I hear from my employer is the third party or the lawyers did not upload it correctly. And
so then
they are, and this is like the first time it has happened, and they are putting in some measures to like verify this, which is kind of strange to me. But
is your employer an employer that sponsors people regularly for employment-based green cards?
Yes.
Yeah. So then this should work itself out, because if I'm the law firm, I want to keep the client happy, and I'm going to fix it for free. Like, I'm not going to charge anybody to fix it if it can be fixed. The problem is, if you're starting over, you're talking 9 more months to start over.
And my main concern was, since in this application, my date was set of August of last year. And the lawyer mentioned that the soonest or the earliest they can file a new one would be August of this year. So that would essentially, I've lost like almost an year. And I think they can use the prevailing wages side of things and just need to do the labor market test, if I'm not wrong.
It depends on the timing.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's still early, and I'm gonna talk to them in detail. Just want to get some heads on. Is it worth going into an appeal? Like,
it depends if it's something that's readily fixed. And I would the one thing that you want is, you want things to be said in writing, because lawyers will say all kinds of shit out loud that they won't put in writing. So all that matters is what they put in writing.
Exactly.
And whether they stand behind their work or not. I mean, I have a buddy. He is sort of one of these staffing companies, and they do a fair number of H-1Bs. And when they did this year's H-1Bs, they did 5 or 6 of them, and they transpose the numbers on the checks. And so all the payments for the lottery bounced, and so they all got rejected. And so
Oh.
this law firm is now, I mean, the paralegal got fired, but this law firm is doing green cards for everybody to fix their mistake. So, you know, you've been harmed by this. You've been harmed more or as much as the employer. So you actually might not know it, but you actually have a claim against the law firm for screwing up. So I would be deferential to my boss, but I'd be sort of a dick to the law firm and say, look, you guys got to fix this. You guys messed this up. So try to get your boss on board to say, these guys need to fix it. They're the ones that screwed it up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already in talks with my higher hierarchy manager, and what they would just like generally guide is like it's generally better to file a new one rather than appealing.
Generally I would agree, except for the time that you lose. If it's something clean and easy, or if DOL made the mistake, that's one thing. Otherwise, I'm probably starting over.
Okay. Is there any other caveats or is there any slightest of chance I can reuse or appeal this current application?
It just depends. It's hard for me to say without seeing what's been submitted and what was missing.
Because I still haven't got like the denied letter or something like that. Apparently they get it, so I would want to look at it.
Yeah.
I haven't received that yet. It's just verbal at this point.
All right, well, let us know, Sujal. Good luck, buddy.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jim.
Okay, have a good day. That sucks, man. Sorry about that.
You too.
All right. Let's say hi to TK. What's up, TK?
Hey. Hi, good afternoon. This is my first time joining. Can you hear me? Okay, this is my first time joining. I actually applied for my fiance in 2021. We got our approval letter in May 16. But NVC hasn't sent us a case number. I don't know what's going on with NVC. We can't call, no text. I emailed them twice though. I did in June 1st and 16, and they still haven't like gotten back to us. I tried to call USCIS and they told me they don't know where my case is.
That's the problem. I don't think the case probably hasn't reached the NVC. You have the approval notice for the I-129F?
Yes, I got the approval. It came really fast.
And so when did you, just so I know, when did you file and when did it get approved?
So I filed April 8th. I got a NOA 1 April 12th, 2021. So we filed last year, April, we filed in April 8th, but we got the NOA 1 in April 12th, 2021. So we got an approval May 16th of 2022.
So
I had to wait
13 months.
Yes.
So I think you just got to keep beating the bushes to see what you can get and try to get a higher. I think it's probably at USCIS. I think they probably haven't sent it over. That's, I think, what's going on.
Yeah, because I call every day and they tell me they don't know what my case is, and they tell me once they approve it, it goes straight to NVC.
But NVC says they don't have it.
NVC don't actually, they don't pick up no more calls anymore. We can't call. I sent 2 inquiries and no response.
I'll tell you what, TK, just here's the deal. I myself, Jim, I haven't handled the fiance case myself in a while. So I believe it's at USCIS, but I want to make sure. Could you send an email over and say, hey, I was on with Jim and Julio will get it. And I will talk to my paralegals who do the overseas stuff. They might have an idea or two, and I can share those with you. And in fact, I'll share them with everybody on our next show. But I believe it's stuck at USCIS, but they might have another idea or two that you could try.
Okay, I'm going to send an email. I think I have the email on YouTube.
It's right there underneath the screen. Yep. info@hackinglawpractice.com. Yeah. Send it over and I'll see what I can find out. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
But just make sure that you mention, like in the memo, I was on the show with Jim.
Okay. All right. I definitely will.
All right. Great.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. All right. Let's say hi to Aki. Oh, no. Sean. Hi, Sean. Sean, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Hi, Jim. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I wanted to ask a few questions about my F3 case. We're actually doing the paperwork right now.
Yep.
So
what paperwork do you mean?
We are filing the affidavits of support and doing the DS 260. Right. So
the visa number is current. The visa number is current.
Yeah, the visa number is current for dates for filing, not the visa.
Yeah.
So we're stuck at a question on the affidavits of support. So my father-in-law, he's the U.S. citizen, he's the petitioner, and his girlfriend lives with him and her son. Should we add them to the household size?
It all depends on the tax returns. Does he declare them on his tax return?
No, he doesn't file for them on his tax returns.
Yeah, then I wouldn't list them.
You wouldn't list them?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So, and what about, there's a question on the affidavits of support, which asks for the mailing address. Do we need to put his address or our address here in the Caribbean?
What, the mailing address for whom?
It is the principal applicant.
So the principal applicant is you,
is my wife. Is my wife.
So her address.
Her address here in the Caribbean at home.
Yeah.
Okay, and not his. And do we need a birth certificate for the petitioner?
Generally, yes.
Oh,
if you have it,
we're getting a hard time to get his birth certificate. So,
how is he a naturalized citizen?
Yeah, he's a naturalized citizen. Yeah.
Does he have a U.S. passport?
Yes, he does.
That should be enough.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Sean. Good luck, buddy.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jim.
Take care. All right. Got time for one or two more. Let's talk to Aki. Hi, Aki.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for the opportunity.
Sure.
So my question is, I had my wife recently got her citizenship, and her I-1, and we had an I-130 applied, and yesterday I got the notification that it was approved
at USCIS.
Right.
Yep.
So they upgraded my application from a distant relative to immediate. So I got that date current. So my question is, what's next? I-485?
Wait, so hold on. So you're in the United States?
Yes.
And are you in status or you out of status?
I'm on status. I'm on H-1B.
And your spouse, how did they get their green card originally?
They originally migrated with the family.
Okay. And so when did you get married?
It's been 4 years now, 2018.
And when did your spouse become a citizen?
Exactly last month.
And so so the I-130 got approved yesterday.
Correct.
And you filed the I-130 as a standalone. You didn't file it with the 485.
Correct.
Okay. And now the spouse has become a U.S. citizen.
Correct.
And you have an approved I-130. So now the time is to file the 485, the 131, the 765, and the affidavit of support.
Okay. I still have to do the affidavit of support.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I can do everything in one packet?
Correct.
And send it to them with the respective checks, payments?
One check, yeah, for $12.25. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So 765 and I-131, there's no fees to that?
They're included in the $12.25. As of now, they're included. They're talking about charging separate fees for those, but as of right now, it's all included in the green card fee.
Okay, perfect. And what's the current timeline you've been seeing?
Well, yours is going to screw them up a little bit because they're not used to getting 45s without an I-130. So it's legal. You didn't do anything wrong, but they're used to receiving them all together. So probably, where do you live?
Florida. Cool.
So the Florida immigration offices are pretty busy. So probably about a year.
About a year, more or less.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good luck, my friend.
Appreciate it.
All right, everybody. That will do it for today's show. Our next show will be on Sunday. I'm not sure what time. Get on our email list. Send us a text. Text the word show. It's free to 314 I'm waiting for the number, 314-470-3300. Send us a text and we will let you know when we're going to go live on Sunday, sometime in the afternoon. If you have a minute and could leave us a review, we'd really appreciate it. www.reviewhackinglaw.com. That'll do it for today's show. Thanks to Huli, as always, for helping me out with the comments. I enjoyed being with all of you. Hope you all found value in it, and we'll see you on Sunday. Take care.